Hello, hello. I am here today to talk about, I think it's one of my favorite topics. I probably say that a lot, but conscious creation. There's a lot of names you can call it, a lot of ways that you might have at looking at that. Conscious creation, for me, it means when you intentionally, right, put heart and soul into something as well as effort. That's conscious creation. You're not just wishing and dreaming and hoping, and you're also not just working really hard. You're consciously bringing all of the creation tools together. I think of it the yin yang, masculine, feminine, right? The real world strategies, along with that spiritual realm of creation that's available to all of us. So I have two stories that I tell in today's blog, and it was really fun to revisit the story in the blog about how I consciously created my coaching circles, group coaching, something that I just love to this day. I think it was 15 years ago, maybe that story is written about, where I really decided this is what's going to happen. I'm going to have coaching circles. I'm going to have coaching groups because this, what I think of as my soul was longing for that. And I also had a talent in that area of leading groups. So like bringing both pieces together. And I did, there's more to the story in the book where I talk about I had a networking group at the time where that had me really connecting with women and making a lot of good contacts. So there's more to that story in the book, but the basic is that I just decided intentionally it was going to happen. And I got to work doing what I could. I created from what I had, which at that time was some space in my schedule. And I just went to work on it. So that's what I'm encouraging you to do today. And there's a story about my house. This was a house I bought back in, wow, it was probably back in the year 2000, I think. So 22 years ago. There's a lot more to that story too. There's a little piece in that story where I talk about the serendipitous meeting that I had. Here's the rest, a little more detail on that. I went on a trip and it was maybe 3-4 hours from my house. And I stayed at a bed and breakfast, and over breakfast, I was talking to the owners about the town I lived in. And they said to me, "Oh, well, we made an offer on a house in that town." This is like a town of 8,000 people, tiny little town, right? We made an offer on a house in that town, but it fell through. And then I just got curious. Well, tell me about it. Like, where was it? It was the house. It was the exact same house that was my dream house. They had made an offer. It had fallen through for some really specific reasons. And they gave me this backstory on the owner. They told me that the owner was in the middle of a divorce and that this property had all belonged to his wife's family, and he was out for revenge or something. And he was willing to sell at a low cost. We wanted to get rid of the house. He was just ready for it to go. So that is the kind of thing that can happen when you get really intentional and you hold the dream. Okay, I wanted to buy that house. I wanted my coaching groups. And then you start doing the work that is going to make it happen. So with that house, I found out numbers. I went to the bank. I did all kinds of strategic work. That's a really important piece because I got information and I engaged with people and I got some real life things handled. And then the serendipitous event occurred to give me just the right information, just when I needed it, so I could make an offer that I could easily afford, get the financing from the bank, and buy that house. Same thing with the coaching circles, right? The woman came just right when I had everything put together. I literally walked into my office and said, "I'd like you to start a coaching group." Actually, a true story. That's how it can happen for you. So put those three things together, right? Real life strategies, hold the vision and the dream, and then really open to the universe supporting you. And I'm here to support you too. All right, let me know if some good things happen to you. I'd like to know how the navigation creation system works for you.